Hi, I'm Leah. Today I want to talk about something that affects all of us. Climate change. And how a really simple idea can actually reverse our negative impacts while improving our soils and supporting our school. You've probably heard a lot about climate change already, and how greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane are big contributing factors. CO2 is actually a necessary and important natural gas. Humans and animals produce it just by breathing. However, burning fuels like gasoline, coal, or wood magnify these more natural producers. The problem isn't that CO2 exists, it's that we're releasing far more than natural systems can absorb. But here's the interesting part. Nature already has a way of capturing carbon. Plants and trees absorb CO2 from the atmosphere through a process called photosynthesis. They breathe in CO2 from the air through small holes on the underside of their leaves called stomata, kind of like small nostrils. They then use sunlight energy and nutrients from their roots to grow. The carbon breathed in then becomes part of the tree's cellular structure and is stored in their trunks, branches, and roots. In a way, trees and plants are like natural carbon storage systems that produce and filter our air. The problem is that when trees die, burn, or decompose, most of that stored carbon eventually goes right back into the atmosphere. So the question becomes, how can we take advantage of this natural system of carbon capture, but avoid the carbon from being released again? The solution is something called biochar. After forestry work, there's often a lot of leftover wood waste. Branches, tops, and trimmings that usually get piled up and burned to avoid forest health issues and wildfires. However, when that happens, all the carbon stored in that wood goes straight back into the atmosphere. A lost opportunity. Instead of burning it in the open air, if wood is heated between 400 to 900 Celsius in a special low oxygen environment, you create a process called pyrolysis. Think of it like cooking the wood instead of burning it. The result is biochar, a very stable form of carbon that doesn't decompose or rot and can stay locked in soil for hundreds, even thousands of years. And biochar doesn't just store carbon, it greatly improves soil health. It acts like a spongy magnet, helping soil hold water and absorb nutrients. Did you catch that? Yup, I said adsorb, which is different than absorb. You see, absorb is what sponges do when they soak up water. Biochar does this too, but it also has the ability to chemically bond with the nutrients like nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. Think of it like a magnet. Typically what happens is we add fertilizer to our lawns or gardens and then wash 50 to 60% of that nutrients away by watering. Obviously you can't stop watering, but the biochar holds the water without letting go of the fertilizers. So awesome! This all means plants grow better, fertilizer stays in the soil longer, and less water is needed. Check! 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 Biochar isn't even a new idea. We actually learned about it from the ancients. Over 2,000 years ago, indigenous people in the Amazon used it to create incredibly fertile soils that are still productive now. Today, farmers and gardeners around the world are rediscovering how powerful biochar can be. That's why this year our school is launching an Earth Day Biochar Fundraiser. By using biochar in gardens, flower beds, and on lawns, we can help remove carbon from the atmosphere, improve soil health, and raise funds for our school at the same time. So it's a win for the environment and a win for our school and community. For the fundraiser, we're offering biochar in 2 sizes. The first option is small bags, which are great for houseplants, raised beds, and smaller garden spaces. Each bag can treat about 1 square meter of soil and helps remove about 0.26 kilograms of CO2 from the atmosphere. The second option is 10-liter buckets, which are designed for larger gardens, greenhouses, or landscaping projects. 1 bucket can treat about 20 square meters of soil and lock away about 5.2 kilograms of CO2 equivalent. Using biochar is simple. First, you charge it by mixing it with compost, fertilizer, or manure, and adding water. Because of its porous structure, biochar will soak up nutrients, water, and microbes, charging it like a cell phone. Time is your friend. The more time you give it to charge, the better. Finally, mix it into your soil following the recommended ratios. Once it's in the soil, it continues working for years, helping plants grow while storing carbon underground. This Earth Day, we have a chance to do something real, improving our soils, reducing waste, and making a measurable difference for the planet. Is actually pretty cool, not to mention getting paid for it. Happy planting!